you're an avid viewer of my show, you probably know I like to buy guitars out of Japan, mainly the Fender Japan exclusives, because they're just a lot of fun. But in my searches, sometimes I come across a unique Gibson. And this guitar just happened to have a finish I've always wanted to see with an added twist. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Let's go ahead and crack open this case. Oh yeah, there it is. Alien Greenburst with Super 400 inlays. Black and green are definitely my favorite hues, so you don't necessarily see that on a Les Paul Custom too often outside of like a really aged Silverburst or maybe even one of the Green Widow Les Paul Customs. But this one is not part of the widowed family because we still have that stark white binding. You've got the green burst on the edges, and the whole added fact of having these special Super 400 inlays with a true ebony fretboard just made this one a must document. I mean, just check out the back of the neck. It's also got it. Now, it would have been better had it been like 70s spec'd and had a volute, because outside of our special color and inlays, it's just a regular Les Paul Custom. These things run between $5,000 and $6,000 brand new, so a made-to-measure and a custom color with this fretboard option from the current era, this one is from 2022, probably run you around $7,500 if you're willing to wait a year for Gibson to create it for you. You get a custom shop hard shell case. This is one of the Black Lifton style reissues. It's got the nice marigold yellow interior. And inside our case compartment, we have our COA booklet, which reads Gibson Custom, and we can see how it's billed just as a regular custom. We get our warranty information, which gives us some Japanese writing and tells us it was completed at the end of 2022, so it's not that old of a guitar. Spare back plate if you don't want the medallion, usual Gibson hang tag, silica packet, case keys, and the usual Japan case candy. If I remember correctly, this says something along the lines of make sure you register your warranty, and then your owner's manual in Japanese. Spur-of-the-moment documentations are always the most fun for me because you don't have to wait for it. And yes, you can find similar things out of the mod collection, but they usually have some sort of a blemish, so finding a true made-to-measure, custom-order, crazy out-there finished guitar was special enough that I needed to share it with the world. Alright, let's go ahead and throw this green beauty on the workbench to take an individual look at its parts and specs. Inside our alien burst friend here, let's take a look at our pickups. How is it spec'd? They didn't change anything too much in here. We just have a 490R, which dates to late 2021, and then the one that normally pairs with that pickup. The 498T, but I got kind of excited when I saw this. Hey, that's 4-conductor wiring. So technically, this could be push-pulled to do coil splitting, but no, that's not a spec. So normal controls means volume and tone for your bridge, volume and tone for your neck. Bummer, but it's an option if you wanted to modify your pots. Must have been the only kind they had in stock because the neck pickup is just your regular 2-conductor braided wiring. We should have something around 14 and 8. So 13.86 in the bridge and 7.72 in the neck, in the middle position just for fun, 4.95 within the circuit. But we've got our long neck tenon construction, and you can see the green in the neck pickup cavity. And then what I saw in the bridge pickup cavity didn't necessarily surprise me. You see that? There's actually a silver base coat. So this did start life as a Silverburst. They just had to spray it green afterwards, so it's like it's got two finishes. Like candy apple red, the way you do that is you put a silver base coat or a gold base coat. In the 80s they did both. They did gold first, but then they started orange peel, so they switched to silver. But this does indeed have a maple top. You can see the slightly different colored wood right there before it joins onto the mahogany. Bridge and tailpiece time. It's your regular Nashville style one. This is not a specific year reissue, so it utilizes one of these, PW branded. Then we have a full weight tailpiece. This is one of those few guitars where I wish they just would have left it without a pick guard. Now you can take it off and you'll just be left with a hole right here. And unfortunately there is a very small ding in the top from where the back of the pick guard rests on it. It's not overly noticeable, but it is there. I think it looks good both ways though. I just love the burst on the edges. It makes the alien really come to life. 2 pieces maple, solid mahogany body, mahogany neck, straight up ebony fretboard with our Super 400 inlays. Basically, it's just a block inlay, but they put dashes in between it, which is a little bit more labor intensive because they have to create different inlays to fit in the original pattern. But I really love this one. It's got a lot of cool figuring with it. It's a shame they didn't go for historic style tortoiseshell colored side markers. That would pair very well with the alien green. We've got a 24 3/4 inch scale length with a complementary 12-inch fretboard radius. Our nut measures 1.69 inches, and that increases to 2.06 by the 12th. First fret neck depth, 0.85, then 0.99 by the 12th. This was something I was really excited about this one because it was advertised and spec'd as a V1 neck. Now within Gibson territory, on the 1960 reissues, there's 3 different neck styles, V1, V2, V3. V1 is just like the 59, it's a nice in-between, not overly chunky, not overly skinny. V2 is your typical skinny, and then V3 is your ultra skinny. So I was kind of hoping this would have a chunkier neck profile and be another unique spec, but honestly, it just feels like a regular Les Paul Custom. Here's that neck profile at the 1st fret and the 12th fret. Just a nice rounded C. As far as our headstock is concerned, nothing too crazy here. Just our Gibson Mother of Pearl logo with the regular Pearl Custom blocks. We've got our Grover tuners, truss rods in perfect shape with a Les Paul Custom branded cover, and our multiply binding. Moving to the back of our extraterrestrial friend, here's our control cavity. Pretty much all your basic stuff. Small disc capacitors, Gibson branded pots, wired up in their standard style, non-50s. Yep, sure enough, there you go. There's your 4-conductor lead. From that bridge pickup, they just taped off the other 2. So if you were to replace that pot with a push-pull, you could coil split that one, but that is not an option straight from the factory. We can see some more of the silver base coat over in here in this corner too. As far as QC, there is a very small finish chip right here around the lip of the control cavity. Here's a pro tip for you guys I learned a couple of months ago. If you ever run into a backplate that's tricky to get back on, like it just seems too big, go throw it in the freezer for like 5 minutes and it'll just slightly shrink to the point where you can get it back in. Other than that, you just have a little bit of lacquer sink where you can kind of see some of the mahogany wood grain, but I don't think I'd be able to show you that on camera. It's got the thin binding in the cutaway, although the finish is too dark to see the maple cap. But there's your green edges. With a metal output jack plate, strap button here, as well as up here. And let me teach you about this. Ooh, is this a really rare 70th anniversary Les Paul Custom? No. Every single custom shop Les Paul got this medallion in the year 2022. They were celebrating 70 years of the Les Paul. There is no official 70th anniversary model, so don't fall for that on Reverb. There's a lot of sellers who like to hype that up. Why Gibson didn't do a true 1952 reissue, true to spec, I mean, they're under new ownership. It was the perfect year to do it. I don't know, but I'm sure they'll start back up in the year 2027 with our 70th anniversary gold tops and then R8s, R9s, all that good stuff. But here's the back of the neck, also bursted as we had saw earlier. Gibson custom decal and regular Grover tuners here. And our serial number is black, dating it to the year 2022. It was the 3075th custom shop guitar made that year. And yes, it has the green on the edges too. All said and done, this one weighs 9 pounds, 11.2 ounces. Let's go ahead and plug this one in. lot of fun, but here it is in standard tuning just for comparison's sake. Now that we know all about our alien Greenburst visitor, what are my final thoughts on this? Something about this guitar just said, take me to a lower tuning than standard, and that I did, and I had a blast. It really gives me Bill Kelleher vibes. I think he might have a signature guitar that's a Greenburst as well, but I know he's used aged Silverburst as well as the charcoal metallic customs of the 80s, so that's the vibes I was getting here. I'm glad I was able to get this back from Japan and document it. Alright, Troglodytes, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, consider subscribing. I post videos like this every day. And you might even enjoy this next one.